Hello, you beautiful people, and welcome to another episode of Life Learner. So today we are going to be talking about what to expect when practicing Bikram Yoga. Essentially, what to expect when you're in the room practicing Bikram Yoga for the first time. So I have about a decade's worth of experience in practicing Bikram Yoga. Started back in Singapore. I think it was early 2011 where I saw Clancy. I remember Clancy giving out flyers outside the Harbourfront Mall that the studio, Bikram Yoga studio, is opening, and my colleague, who's like also a close friend of mine, Aldwin, I mentioned it to him like, I found a flyer outside when I went out to lunch to grab some lunch, and he says, I've done Bikram Yoga before. It's really tough, and he basically gave me an insight on how hot and humid the room is going to be. So I think that helped. And then of course, because we didn't have anything to do after work, because he's gay. I love the gay community. I love the gay people. I think they make the world colorful. So he didn't have any family to attend to after work, and I was still single. I didn't have any responsibilities back then, so we said, okay, let's sign up for I think that was a 14-day class pass. So they usually do that. They give you 14 days to try. Your 14 days will start from the first day that you start a class. So regardless if you continue the next day, that's still going to be counted as your second day. So we did that, and my God, it was so hot. So a few things to consider and to expect when you start to practice Bikram Yoga. The room is going to be so hot. It is going to be heated up to 105 degrees and 40% humidity. You'll have to bring your own mat because you would not want to be like borrowing a mat that has been used by other people, because you're going to sweat like you just got out of the swimming pool. That's how hot and humid the room is. And then when you're doing the postures, you are going to think like, what did I get myself into? How did I convince myself to get here? That's fine, because again, Bikram Yoga does not work mainly to change your body. That is the side effect. The focus of Bikram Yoga is to align you with your center, and basically it works with the soul and the mind. If you don't want to call it soul, it could be called awareness, if you're open to that. But it's the physical aspect of it. Losing weight and gaining strength and flexibility, that is just the side effect. The main focus and the main improvement it will give your life is mental and emotional wellness. Imagine a sauna, but instead of lying down, you're doing the postures, and a teacher is going to give out the dialogue. It's basically 26 postures every single time, same 26 postures, and a teacher will basically take you through it. It's not going to be a demonstration type of practice, if you want to call it. They'll give you the dialogue, and usually you just follow the people in front of you, because usually the advanced practitioners would like to practice in front of the mirror, because it's just so good when you see yourself. That's kind of a meditation. Bikram Yoga is an open eye meditation, so the more you see yourself, you focus on yourself. It's just you. You don't care about anyone else, because everyone is busy saving their own selves, because it is really hot. Just prepare yourself mentally. It's gonna be the worst thing ever. I'm not being dramatic, but if you prepare your mind, your state of mind, and have that idea in your head, who knows, it could be easier for you when you get there. You might probably say, oh, it's not so bad after all. It's not like what Erna said, that it's so hot. Then that's good. You're trying to play it in your mind in advance how hard and difficult it's going to be, but it could be that when you get there, you'll breeze through it. But then again, remember that when you start your Bikram yoga, there are no expectations. You can't be flexible. You're not supposed to be flexible before you go. You're not supposed to be young enough to to go. It's never too late. You're never too old. You're never too sick to start Bikram yoga. You're welcome to, like, any age, any state of physical fitness. If you're not physically fit, that's fine too. Again, this is not for your physical body. This is for your mental state and your emotional state of being. So again, bear in mind it will be hot and humid. There's no expectations for you to do, like, you're not expected to do all the 26 postures. Our teachers would basically remind the beginners to just stay in the room. You can lie down for the entire 90 minutes, but just stay in the room. Do not get up and leave. Nobody has ever tried to scare the students, but if it's too hot, you've been lying down, and then if you get up outside of the room, you could faint. Now, it happened to me. I didn't go out of the room, but it happened to me one time. I was so desperate to lose the water weight. I tried a lot of things. I wanted to do the fast, easy way out. I went into an aesthetic spa wherein they wrap your body into, like, basically a sauna, basically like that. They heat you up so that you sweat all the water. And I was lying down for, I think, an hour. I stood up. Nobody took care of me. Nobody even mentioned you're supposed to still be lying down even if it's not hot anymore. Just give your body enough time to regulate the blood flow. So I went out, and then I sat down, and you know what happened? I fainted on the floor, and I got a cut on my head. They called my husband, and they gave me a free meal. But now I think I could have sued them, but that would be stressful. But yeah, I went to the GP, and it did not come to a point where he had to give me stitches. He just put a band-aid that would close the cut. But there was massive blood from that cut because, again, it was on my head. So yeah, you are better off just lying down, even if it's hot. Nobody has ever died practicing Bikram yoga. You're just better off lying down. Take control of your breathing. Do not go out. Otherwise you'll faint, and nobody's gonna be there to watch you and hold your hand, because the teacher is gonna be inside teaching other students. So that is the reason, that is the logic behind it. It's for your own good. And second, it will be a struggle to stay in the room. Your mind will come up with all the funny excuses. Your mind will come up with all the creative excuses. It's gonna tell you this one's itchy, you gotta scratch this. Or now you feel like you want to pee, you can't hold it in, you want to take a poo, you want to just run out of the room. Again, you have to come back to the reason why you're there. You're there because you want to give yourself a chance to, expose yourself to an opportunity to get mentally and emotionally strong. Don't think about the physical effects, because that's going to come if you're consistent with your practice. If you're consistent with your practice, you'll start to notice that your food choices are getting better. Instead of grabbing for chips, fried food, you're going to start to look for whole raw foods, like a mandarin for a snack, or a banana perhaps. You're going to be amazed at your life's choices if you get consistent with your practice. Again, the heat, the humidity, the sweat, the combination will make you question all of your life choices, particularly why you decide to come to class. And the only thing that you will want to do is find out or come up with excuses to get out of the room. But if you practice on a yoga school that prioritizes discipline, you will always be encouraged to stay in the room, no matter how close to dying you feel. But then again, think back to the example that I gave you. You need to lie down. Just lie down. Even if it's difficult to breathe, again, this will help you train yourself to breathe properly. It's like, whatever is going on in the environment, as long as you take control of your breath, you can control your reaction, your response to the stimuli. You're safe. There's not a bear, there's not a lion, there's not a tiger that's, eat you. You just need to stay in the room. It's easier said than done, but then again, if you just come back to your breath, you just focus on your breathing. It's only 90 minutes. Time flies. You'll be out of there in no time. And think about how you'd feel when you're out of the room. When you get out of the room, when the class isn't finished yet, you're gonna feel unfulfilled. I'm telling you now, all the effort of preparing yourself, buying a new mat, getting yourself a new water bottle, and all this, you quit. It's the first class you ever took, and then you quit. What for? Stay there. Do it for yourself. Stay there for you. Stay there for all the effort. You've already woken up, I don't know, early in the morning. You've skipped work today, or you've said no to your friends who invited you for maybe lunch or dinner because you wanted to practice yoga. So stay there. Make it a fulfilling day. Make it a fulfilling experience, not for anybody else, but for you. Turn up for yourself. Give yourself a chance. What could be worse? This is for yourself. Your body will love this. It's not gonna be something enticing when you're there, but just do it. Do it for you. Thirdly, you have to hydrate hours before the class. That matters. So if you're properly hydrated, your body will help you. So when you're doing the posture, if you have the strength to do the posture while the room is hot, you'll have the strength. You probably will still say you're dying, all these dramatic phrases that your brain would come up with, but it will help you. Hydrate at least 2 liters before your class. Don't drink it like 30 minutes before the class. No, drink it throughout the day before your class. Throughout the day. Otherwise, you don't want to be in the class with a bloated stomach, because there are postures that's going to require you to suck your stomach in. Basically, all throughout, you need to suck your stomach in, because if you suck your stomach in, you're going to lose it pretty soon. So, win-win, yeah? It has a lot of core involvement in this practice. So, hydrate all throughout the day, not 30 minutes or an hour before the class. It's not going to help you. It's only going to hurt you. It really helps a lot, like a great deal, if you prepare your body and hydrate before the class. Trust me. I have 10 years worth of experience. You will lose buckets of sweat, which is good, and it will eventually help you with the weight you want to lose. But again, do not think of weight loss just yet. Just try and survive the class. That's it. That's your only goal. Regardless if you were just lying on your mat, that's already an achievement in itself. Just do not go out of the room. You'll never want anything else, and it's just that's only one of the benefits in sticking to this practice, because of the heat and humidity, water will taste like liquid gold. You will be appreciative of the little things, the cool air, the ice cold water in your drink bottle. Trust me when I say it will taste the most delicious thing in the world. You'll never want anything else while you're in the room. You're just gonna want that ice cold water in the bottle. Hydrating yourself hours before the class will definitely help you operate and align with your body better. Fourthly, your mind will chatter. Not listen to it. You're stronger than you are. Like Pooh Bear was right when he says, you're stronger than you seem, smarter than you think, and forgot the third one. Or maybe I got it wrong, but you get me. So it's gonna chatter. Again, you will come up with 1,000 excuses, really creative ones. Stay in the room. Sorry, you might have noticed the settings slightly changed because I had to film this the next day because work calls and life, basically. So yeah, I think, where did I leave off? So yes, your mind will chatter and you will want to get out of the room. So think that that's normal, and Again, this practice is not, it's not only physical but mental and spiritual. You can hear the birds, right? This is why I love this place. It's just, it feels like you're in the rainforest. Anyway, I digressed. It will be very hot and humid. Try to psych yourself out. Think about worse things so that when you get there, your body or your mind will say, oh, it's not that bad actually. It's not that hot. It's not that humid. So think of the extremes. So when you get there, your body will try and compare to say, it's not that bad actually. And it will be a struggle to stay in the room because, again, it's a test of the mind. It's a test of your emotions and everything else. The problems in life will start to come all at once mentally. So you're supposed to be, when your practice gets deeper, you're going to be able to, I'm distracted. I think they're talking. Anyways, I'll try to focus. Your brain will start to solve matters outside the yoga room, but you have to just come back to the reason why you're in the room. When your practice gets deeper and deeper, you will find it easy to just compartmentalize, and once you're starting to think of something, that your troubles or what you're supposed to do for the day, when your practice gets deeper and deeper, you will be able to face that head on and say, I don't want to deal with you right now. So you just move it aside, and then you start with a blank mind. It's, again, yoga is this type of yoga is an open eye meditation. It's a struggle to stay in the room because your mind will play mind games with you. It's gonna say, this is itchy, you need to scratch it. You're gonna be fidgeting, you're gonna be bothered by the sweat because, again, you're gonna be sweating like you've never sweat in your entire life. And again, that's going to be helping you lose the weight again, but that's the side effect. Don't focus on that. But what you have to just think about is just try to stay in the room. You don't need to do the entire postures. You don't need to do all the 26 beginners postures. You can just lie down for the entire 90 minutes. And that's your goal, basically. Just stay in the room for your first few classes, so your body will acclimate and get used to the heat. And because your mind will chatter, will think about all the discomforts in your body just to get you to leave the room. But you have to be prepared. So come prepared. You have to hydrate yourself the entire day before you go into the yoga room to practice. Don't drink 1 to 2 liters of water 30 minutes before the class, because that's going to be uncomfortable, because you're going to be sucking your stomach in like a vacuum to help you with some postures, and you're just going to want to throw up. Especially don't have a big meal before. You can have a banana or mandarins, kiwi fruit, the light whole foods an hour before the class. That will help you. And coconut water. So yeah, I think I've given you all 5. Again, it will be very hot and humid. It will be a struggle to stay in the room. You need to hydrate the entire day before your class, the first class most especially. Your mind will chatter. But that's what we want to overcome. When you're there, you want to overcome your mind to say, we're fine, this is safe, just get through to the 90 minutes. I mean, you've prepared your whole day. Probably days before, you have tried to talk yourself into saying, we're going to do this. This is, the first of the many goals that we need to tick for this year. But maybe have the mental goal to say, you're going to beat your personal best. So whatever you say you're going to do, you're going to commit to it. Just subconsciously, your body will, your mind will start to think, whatever I think about, I'm able to accomplish. And you'll want to get it out while in the room. Again, it's a mental and emotional test. Nothing can happen, guys. There's no bear, there's no lion, there's no tiger, there's no snake in the room. Stay in the room for 90 minutes. 90 minutes it will probably be the longest 90 minutes of your life when you're there, but do it for you. You're worth it. Okay? So if you've got any questions, again, you know how to reach me. There's a comment section below. You can just ask me anything. I've got 10 years worth of practice experience, so I think I'm in the right alley to provide advice because I practice what I preach. And yes, please don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. I really appreciate you stumbling upon me and spending not a few, because I think this is lengthy. Spending your time with me to really try and understand. I think it's law of attraction. You're here because you really want to do this. Your soul wants to do this. So make it happen. What are you waiting for? Namaste, you guys. Have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you soon in our next episode. Bye.